Greetings, 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 everyone. Come on in the room. I am super excited to be able to introduce to some and re-announce to everybody else the Pearl Hell podcast. So you all got to come on in now. I know you hear me. I know you hear me. It is about that time. So it's 10 o'clock in some places, 9 o'clock in some places at night. In some places, it's like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. But wherever you are, you have got to be on the show tonight. Come on in. We're welcoming your comments. You know, Pearl Hell is going to have some super exciting, inspiring, fearless, just amazing, listen, thought provoking, because she is a thought leader. She is going to have some thought provoking conversation for you all tonight that I guarantee is going to be transformational for everybody who attends. Now, listen, here's the beautiful part. You can rewind, you can forward, all kinds of fun things, but you got to be present to do either one. So come on in, because this is the place you want to be. Announcing renowned authoress, I shall say, Pearl Hell.
Woo! We're so excited. Thank you so much for that. I tell you, I'm super excited. I'm super hyped. Thank you so much, Dr. Abraham, for that. I'm talking about my book that has been sweeping the country, Bruised to be Used. And I had some question, a very interesting question that I had. Someone asked me, we're talking about bruises in leadership. And we just left the power of agreement. But I want to share with you, someone asked me a question in regards to, I'm going to read it to you, okay? This is getting exciting. And by the way, for those of you who are watching me, I'm Pastor Pearl Hale, and we're talking about my brand new book that has been sweeping the country, Bruised to be Used. And we're talking specifically about my chapter, Bruised in Leadership. And we're talking about disagreements among members. A lot of people have been asking me questions. So someone asked me about how do you resolve a bruise in leadership when you feel you were unjustly sat down? Okay, very good question. And I want to hear from you. I want you to send me an email at info@pearlhale.show. What are your thoughts on that? Some people have been through that. And so they were asking me a question, and I want to delve into that as well. So, first, I would say I have to know what was the situation, okay, and why. Because, as I stated before, you have to have standards in ministry, even on the job. The job has standards when you're late. In ministry, you have to have standards. So, for what reason, what for? Okay, I'll give you an example. And she told me she was very hurt by this situation because she felt she was unjustly sat down. Well, like I said, standards are good. And when a pastor has standards or rules and regulations, doesn't mean none of us are perfect, but just like a job, if you're habitually late or they have certain rules that says you have to do certain things in order to keep this job or in order to keep a position, you have to do that. So let me tell you a story. A friend of mine told me about a church she affiliated with where human conflict arises. So two people had an argument and it turned into a physical altercation. Both of them were on various roles in this particular ministry. Okay. The leadership has to handle that. Now, God is a God. He says He'll forgive us. He works to transform our lives. So, a good way the leader handled it is both of them were in the wrong. So, I have to know what happened and why you were sat down. So, but in this particular situation, both individuals were in the wrong. Okay. And it wind up in a physical altercation. So the pastor sat them down, both down, for 6 months, because they were in positions in the ministry. Now, that is an example of good leadership because he didn't excommunicate them. He, again, God is a God of transformation. You're constantly working. When you're dealing with leadership, things come up. Just can't throw people away because they got faults. Any one of these things can happen to us. But this particular case, he sat him down for 6 months. They both came back and apologized. And he had a meeting first, then sat them down. Um, and then they came back and now they're working in the church. So I have to know if you feel you were unjustly sat down, you have to look at it from all perspectives. Okay. So I have to know why. And I'm not doubting that it can happen because a lot of things happen unjustly. So look at what happened. Why did you feel you were sat down? Those are questions you have to ask. And look at the learning experience. You weren't excommunicated, you weren't told to leave, you were just disciplined. And what I would say to you is that's a good place to be because when you can learn not to walk away, even when it hurts, look at the situation and see how did I contribute to this situation? Or maybe not. And the truth may be that you were unjustly sat down. But I need to know all the particulars. And that's why I'm giving you a situation where leadership, even though those two people were bruised, God used it for greater good because the leader was not wrong in that situation. And so you might be feeling bad about this. However, pull it apart, look at your part in it, and see it as a learning lesson. Okay, I feel I was unjustly sat down. Okay, but when you come back stronger and then evaluate, is this where God wants me to be? If in fact you feel it was unjust. But a lot of situations occur where we're unjustly, maybe unjustly set down, or even at work, and even in any leadership position. So I want you to examine that. I want all of you tonight, I want to hear from you. We're all learning. We just can't walk away when there's hard bumps. If you're over a ministry, big, little, or small, if every time something happens, you are ready to walk away, or you don't know how to resolve conflict, it's going to be shipwreck in God's kingdom. You always want to build people, and you always want to build the ministry. And the Bible states, "He whom God loveth, he chasteneth." He chasteneth us because we're works in progress. And so don't think of that situation. Look at it as a learning experience. What did you learn from it? How did you grow from it? Okay, I remember I was in a ministry and I was a little disgusted over something that was said, and I reacted in the wrong way. Okay, and I was later called, and the individual told me, "I respect your what you have to say, but you could have always spoken to me privately. But by you making a comment out loud, other people are hearing what you have to say." See, I had to admit to that person and I had to apologize. I was wrong because I was right in what I said, wrong timing. And when you have a friendship or a great relationship with someone, you have to be careful how you react publicly when that person is a leader or in a leadership position. And so I would say to you, examine um, how you feel, even if it was sincerely unjust. Look at all the parameters, look at all the pieces. Did you do something um, that can possibly be an embarrassment to the ministry, an embarrassment to yourself, or just whatever, or maybe you didn't do anything. I'm giving you examples of sometimes we can be bruised in leadership, but we may contribute to it, or we may be looking at it from a wrong angle. I want to challenge you. You know, there is a great quote. I love this quote. Um, and it says, before you are a leader, success is about growing yourself. When you become a leader, success is about growing others. So you see, you have to be um, growing on another level when you're a leader. Doesn't mean you're perfect, but you have to constantly build yourself up to understand and to deal with conflict resolution. You can't walk away if God gives you $1 million facility or even a $500 facility. And the minute something goes wrong, the minute the plumbing is going wrong, the minute um, you're having a hard time paying the bills, you're just going to give it up. You have to learn how to grow in ministry. We don't know it all. We don't get it all at once. And so this question came up. And so I thought about that situation where the leader handled it by sitting both of them down. Now, some people said to me, two people who got into a violent altercation, that's off limits. They should be thrown out or whatever. But human conflict is more real than what you think it is. Things like this happen more often than not, sometimes more often than we think they do. And so, as a leader, if you're building people, you can't throw people away because we all have sinned and come short of His glory. And I want to take a break, but I don't want you to touch that dial. I'm coming back. For those of you, I want to hear from you. For those of you who send me 25 words of less, or have you been blessed, your thoughts on this podcast, I am going to send you a gift certificate. I want to hear from you. I want to hear how it's blessing you. I want you to pick up a copy of my brand new book that's been blessing people all over the country, Bruised to Be Used. You can get a copy on Amazon. You can get a copy at Barnes and Nobles. Also, you want a daily dose of inspiration? Join me Wednesdays at 8:30 a.m. on the Preach the Word Worldwide Network. We have some dynamic topics, some dynamic guests. And guess what? We're speaking to you 35 to 55, younger, older. Join us. But we got something for you. We want to bless you. We want to be there for you. And you can watch it on www.ptwwntv.com, or you can download the Preach the Word app on Roku, Apple TV. Don't touch that dial. We're coming back with more in a moment.
Hey there, I just want to remind everyone that you are tuning in to the Pearl Hell Show broadcast. Don't forget that you can catch her every single Wednesday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time Zone. I believe that's Eastern Time Zone. Yeah, check it out. Check it out. It'll be on the schedule every single Wednesday at www.ptwwntv.com, or you can simply go to www.preachtheword.com and you will see her live every single Wednesday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Now, don't forget, she's offering something special for those that of you that are going to provide some feedback to her, and she's giving you specific instructions. And I also heard that she said she's giving away a gift. So you got to listen carefully, but you got to be tuned in to hear what she's going to say. It's a very special announcement for those of you that are providing feedback on her show. Any type of examples or testimonies that you have, she would love to hear from each and every one of you. Don't forget that you can also get a copy of this world seller book, Bruised to be Used, at Amazon or Barnes and Noble. It is there. Get a copy. Bless someone with the copy, guaranteed to be transformational in your life and also in someone's life that you love. All right. We're going back to Pastor Pearl Hell. I hope you're ready. You got that sip of water and you're ready to come on back and join in with us. We just got a few more minutes with you and we are excited about your comments. So bring them on. Comments, come on in. All right, y'all.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Thank you so much. And as I stated before, leadership, the quote I gave you earlier, before you can be a leader, success is about growing yourself. It's very important to grow yourself as a leader. It's very important to try to get over sensitivities. Now, mind you, again, we're not perfect. Each one of us are individuals. So your sensitivities may be different than my sensitivities. We all have things that we need to work on. But it's very important that we get a foundational understanding of leadership. When we're trying to, because leadership is about building others, is about helping others to transform their lives. And so you have to understand that when someone's in a leadership position, agreement is so important. You know, I heard a pastor say, and I love this quote: God blesses you through people. And if you don't get along with people, He's going to touch someone's heart through the power of the Holy Spirit to bless you. And so we have to understand how to get along with people, how to resolve conflict with people. Doesn't mean everybody's going to like you. You're not going to be their cup of tea, or they might not be yours. Those are real common, real human things that do happen in our lives. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about leadership. We're talking about bruises. We're talking about your focus. We're talking about your kingdom assignment. And we're going to stop there. I thank you so much for joining me on the Pearl Hill Show. Listen to those announcements. Join us back here. We got more. I got more questions. People are excited about this, and I want to hear from you. And I also want to hear what you want to talk about, some of the things that you want to tackle in bruises in leadership in this segment. Okay, I'm going to leave you with this quote: forget about past failures, because whatever God has before you is greater and better than what you left behind. I'm Pastor Pearl Hale. Have a good night.
why? It ain't no surprise. We got the tea, good for you and me. Kings and queens, check out Ebony. Cancer, diabetes, STDs, and infertility. Endometriosis, vaginosis, weight loss, and fatigue. It's what we do, it's made for me and you. It's that rejuvenating feeling, gotta come and get your healing. Ebony.